Delighted to welcome you all today to the 54th Annual Elmhurst University President's Community Breakfast. I look forward to spending this time with you, having a great breakfast, hitting that coffee bar, and hearing from Mayor Levin and President VanAken before we all go on to enjoy the rest of this day. If you're able, could you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now it's my pleasure to bring back to the stage the Reverend H. Scott Matheny to give the invocation. Thank you.
Beloved, the program notes that this is the 54th year of this breakfast. 1970, and if you add 54 more, 2078. It is in that framework of these years that I invite you as we gather here on this beautiful day, St. Patrick's Day, with amazing music, food that waits, a parade that is calling, and the joy of this university. For all that is, beloved, will you join with me? Let us offer our hearts, our minds, our bodies, our souls. Let us pray. Center us down, Almighty and gracious God, for this time, for this 54th breakfast that brings together the joy of this university, the city of Elmhurst, and we who have the joy, pleasure, privilege to live here, to work here, to play, to pray, to work, to become. For the common good and the creation that gives us this place, for the work of our nation, indeed, the body politic. We hold before you our world, for there is a great calling here. Hold the body of leaders that are in this historic frame, Almighty God, because we are indeed privileged to sit here, to carry the responsibility of governance. And so we ask your prayers for our nation, our city, our university. And in the historical times of what we have and what we have been given, we also remember that we are called to pass forward the baton to future leaders, young men and women who shall rise up even at Elmhurst University, and that they shall take their place in line, that they shall become the leaders of the future, and we are given the joy of holding them now. So bless each here, Almighty God, that we might write history, 1970, 2024, 2078. You, Almighty God, hold us in your hands. So take us now into the joy of this St. Patrick's Day, a parade that awaits, and the joy of what we have here at this university. For the gifts that you give us, Almighty God, we give thanks. For food, for table fellowship, for life, for love. All this we pray in your eternal name. Amen. Have a wonderful day, beloved.
So one of our President's Breakfast traditions is to recognize some of the people who serve our community and help to make it such a great place to live and work. So first, we'd like to recognize on behalf of the university, the first responders, those currently serving in the military, and the military veterans who are with us today. Would you all please stand? Thank you for your service. Next, we'd like to thank our Elmhurst city leaders, including our mayor, our city council members, and also our Illinois State Senator Susie Glowiak-Hilton, who's with us today, our County Board Representative Cindy Cronin-Cahill for joining us today. Would you please stand? Thank you. And now, if you would please join me in thanking the leaders and board members of Elmhurst's outstanding parks, museums, libraries, and schools. Please stand. Finally, I'd like to recognize the people who serve on the City of Elmhurst's advisory boards, groups, and commissions, including the Commissions on Youth, Economic Development, Veterans, Senior Citizens, the City of Elmhurst, Elmhurst University Commission, the Public Arts Commission, and all the others. Please stand. Our thanks to all of you for your dedication and partnership and the valuable work you do for Elmhurst. Thanks so much, everyone. Well, we're so pleased to be joined today by Mayor Scott Levin and his wife, Marisa, who've been Elmhurst residents for more than 25 years and active members of the Elmhurst community. Before being elected mayor in 2021, Scott served as 5th Ward Alderman for more than a decade and also served as acting mayor of Elmhurst. His experience and strong sense of community are reflected in the continuing strong partnership between the City of Elmhurst and Elmhurst University. He's graciously agreed to say a few words, so please join me in welcoming Elmhurst Mayor Scott Levin.
Would you all please rise for the pledge? City Council agenda, sorry. Thank you for the invitation. It's my honor to speak here this morning. I feel a little bit like a college student. Last night I was up late writing a speech that I knew for 4 weeks was going to be presented today. Our York hockey varsity team is heading to the state championship on Wednesday, so the semifinals were last night, so here we go. So I wanted to start out with a joke about college presidents. You know, you go on the internet, I'm a lawyer, I'm a mayor, I'm a lawyer, there's like hundreds of jokes about lawyers, millions of jokes about mayors, lawyers, whatever. College presidents, don't do it now, but when you go home, type in jokes about college presidents. None. I'm not kidding, not one. And it's surprising because President VanAken and I have shared many a laugh together, so we'll have to come up with a joke next year, custom made by your journalism students. This President's Community Breakfast is a yearly celebration of the partnership between the university and the city and the larger community of everyone involved. All of our city council members are present. We have our school and park boards, and this is a great opportunity for us all to get together. As you've heard me say in the past, I refer to the relationship between the university and the city as symbiotic. And by that, I mean we depend on each other and relate to each other on many levels. Elmhurst was incorporated in 1872, and the university was founded in 1871. So by that, we've developed and grown together. For example, university students volunteer and perform many internships at the Chamber of Commerce, at the city. When my wife and I made the journey from the city to the suburbs to start our family, we evaluated each suburb for its attributes, and having a university in town was a strong positive for me, and I'm quite certain that when many others who have moved out from the city to the suburbs look, they've decided to come here for the same reason, and I think that applies not only to residents, but to businesses as well who decide to locate here other than retail. And I know that when President VanAken markets the university to new students and maybe even faculty, the vibrancy and the many offerings of our city, including its location and ease of transportation, are part of the pitch and what makes Elmhurst so attractive, and the university as well. And so in that sense, we contribute significantly to the economic benefit of each other. Additionally, the university and the city enhance each other's social development. I annually attend a Character Counts event organized by Dr. Jevitz, where I am among a few who give a pep talk to the student athletes. Hollywood, are you here? Hollywood, raise your hand. All right, so yeah, the master of the pep talk. And I tell the athletes that day, pay attention, all right? There's only 2 speakers today, all right. I tell them how important they are to our community, the students, not just as athletes, but as students. And then the students go out, these athletes, and they do a public service project, maybe cleaning up along a highway, painting a house where handicapped people live. And it's part of a small part of developing that relationship. Alderman Jacob Hill is a librarian here at the university. He's an alderman with the city, and he's also the coordinator for the Student Veterans Association. I've had the pleasure of working with Alex Bully, who's a veteran student, and Alex is now on our Veterans Commission. And every Veterans Day, we take a group of the students, the veterans here, and we go to the Grove, which is a facility where a lot of the people aren't able to get out. They can't attend our Veterans Day ceremony, and we bring it to them. And for those that can't come down to the ceremony and get all that cool military swag that we pass out, we go up room by room. And it's another example how the city and the university are going out and reaching deep into the community. So we're also critically important to each other's cultural development. Recently, we talked about the bold mural that was unveiled, which I still think is great. The city residents enjoy many of the offerings here at the university, the concert on the lawn out here, the jazz festival, the Rudy Shoddy lecture series, the annual Christmas Festival of Lessons and Carols, which are among the many programs that the university offers and says to the public, come and enjoy with us. The university is a model of diversity, cultural appreciation, and acceptance, which leads and inspires the city to keep pace. And of course, our annual St. Patrick's Day today couldn't be done without the approximately 125 students from the university who are out there volunteering to be parade marshals and helping make that event successful. My wife works for the university scholarship office. It's not unusual for me to walk into my house and see students there talking, having dinner, even if I don't get any. It's been a good opportunity for me to get to know something about the student body and recognize that they care very much about the world in which we live and giving something back to the community and the world at large. We have a Town and Gown Commission. Usually they're formed to deal with problems. I know ours meets. They share ideas, but I don't think we've ever had a problem yet to address of any major consequence, any dispute between the city and the university. This breakfast itself affirms the good relationship between the university and the city. And finally, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the vintage baseball game. After so many university wins, the city finally had a decisive victory. Now, I don't know if you know where my office is at City Hall, but if you're driving down York and you look up on the second floor and you see a big silver cup in the window, well, that would be my office. Actually, I think the event has run its course and we'll probably just keep the trophy, but I know Troy will talk about that, so I had to preempt. Anyway, Troy, thank you again for the breakfast. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you for your friendship, Troy, and hope you have a great day today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And now it's my pleasure to tell you a little bit about President Troy and Dr. Annette VanAken. Dr. Annette VanAken has worked for more than 30 years in the field of education as a teacher, researcher, and program developer. She also has volunteered on various literacy, early childhood, and arts committees, and serves on the board of IC Catholic Prep here in Elmhurst. She also has organized and hosted special events and activities that support the institutional priorities of Elmhurst University. A devoted Blue Jay, Dr. VanAken is committed to the success of our students and the institution as a whole. Troy VanAken has served as the 14th president of Elmhurst University since 2016. Under his leadership, the university has seen historic enrollments and record fundraising and a stable financial foundation on which to build. During his tenure, the university also changed its name, celebrated its 150th anniversary, and recently completed the largest comprehensive fundraising campaign in institutional history. The VanAkens are also proud parents of Gabriella and Trey is an Elmhurst alumnus, graduating with an Elmhurst MBA. As first-generation college students, the VanAkens know firsthand that education can be transformational. Their careers are dedicated to creating similar opportunities for new generations of students. Dr. VanAken, President VanAken, would you please stand? Now I'd like to welcome President VanAken to the stage.
Well, good morning. It's great to be with you today, and thank you for joining on this very eventful day. As Mayor Levin said, this is our 54th year for this community breakfast, but that's not all that's going on campus. We just finished a fantastic trustee meeting. I don't know if it was fantastic for the trustees. It was fantastic for me. We survived it. That makes it fantastic in and of itself. But no, last night we had a wonderful fine arts night on campus where we had an orchestra concert and we had a wonderful musical in the Mill Theater. And today, while we're having this breakfast, there's a bunch of prospective students upstairs that are competing for the Niebuhr Service to Society Scholarship Competition. And that competition is something that we started a few years ago, and it's meant to reward students who are admitted to Elmhurst who are passionate about serving their community. Just the type of people that we want and just the type of community that they can thrive in. And later today, in addition to the 125 students that the mayor talked about that will help, sort of be the security for the parade, and we need, robust security on this particular parade. There'll be a couple hundred students that'll be walking with a net and eye, passing out candy and the like, and it's really a big deal for these students. And so before I get into talking a little bit about some of the highlights of the institution and the community that we have the benefit of being in, I just want to recognize and welcome a few distinguished members of the university community. First off, would you please stand as I call your name? Hugh McLean, the chair of the Board of Trustees. And at commencement, we often say, hold your applause. But no, Wes Beckton, the vice chair, and I'd ask all the trustees to stand here. Ed, Susan. I have cabinet members here, vice presidents that are here. Would you please stand? The work wouldn't get done without you. We also have school deans, directors of other programs, Mary Kay, Marty, others. If you direct a program, JP, someplace, thank you for being here. Alumni board members. And then, of course, we wouldn't be able to make the place go without two really special groups. First of all, Chartwells. Food does make the world go around, and our wonderful partners from Chartwells put this on together. Also, some of you have a pin like this, or you're members of the President's Circle. Would you stand if you're a member of the President's Circle? See me after if you want to be a member of this distinguished group. You get special benefits that are really worth it. And last, I really do want to hold somebody up this year. I want to hold somebody up that just was talking about me. It's Desiree Chan. Desiree is, our community relations person. Stand up, we'll applaud, but I want to tell them a bit about you. Without Annette first and Desiree second, I wouldn't probably be able to be here. But so much. Desiree is the Administrator of the Year this year at Elmhurst University. Well deserved. Now, what does that mean? That means she gets recognized and stuff. It also means at 10:40 last night, I'm on the phone with her saying, Desiree, we got to kind of tweak this a little bit of the slides or some things that you're going to see today. But Desiree, thanks for all you do. You serve this community, you serve this institution, and I really appreciate the personal help that you give to myself and my family. So the theme of this particular breakfast is Elmhurst University, Regional Excellence, Global Impact. And this past fall, we celebrated continued success with our student enrollment and fundraising. We broke ground on the first new campus building in 15 years, and we took part in various collaborations with this dynamic community. We also expanded our reach on the international front, where we formed new friendships, expanded ongoing partnerships, recruited more students from all over the world, and celebrated the global impact being made by our academic programs, our alumni, and our students. And so for the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you more about these successes and opportunities and what they mean for our students, campus, and this community. But before I get into that, I just want to tell you that if there's one thing that I want you to leave here with, the only thing I want you to necessarily remember later tonight is how deeply appreciated I am and we are for the environment that you allow these young people to have their educational journey completed in. There's 3,906 students that go to Elmhurst University, and being a president, I don't know if this is a joke, Mayor, but it's a little bit like being an uncle. And you do care about each and every one of them. And I've been in higher education. I've been a senior leader for 30 years in higher education, 15 years as a university president. And what I can tell you is I do not know another community that could match Elmhurst in terms of the environment that they provide, whether it be the safety that the hospital and the fire and the police departments offer, the other schools that we have here, the churches, the city, the chamber, and other things. It's just a phenomenal backdrop for the students that we serve. Over half of them are like Annette and I, they're first generation college students, and they are finding themselves at this point in time. We are a majority minority institution, meaning that more than half of our students are students of color or underrepresented. And this community is unmatched. It's safe, but it has access to a world-class city with just a short metro ride into the city and what have you. And I want you to know from the bottom of my heart how much I appreciate what this community offers to these students. It's part of why we're thriving as an organization, and we just need to continue to keep that going. But if you want to remember a few other things, here we go. We broke ground, and it's actually right out here if you want to walk out to the south side of the building, but we broke ground on a new health sciences building in October. We were very pleased to say Mayor Levin could join us that day and grab a shuffle. What a great example of a partnership and mutual support. I'd also like to thank the city and their staff for working with us on the planning and permitting, which we're in the final stages of right now on this project. This will be a 45,000 square foot health sciences building, providing much needed space to the campus at a cost of $30 million. We also celebrated another great homecoming with a pep rally right out here behind us on the mall, and a bonfire, a parade, a block party, and we continue to invite the community to be part of that, and we see greater turnout each and every year. We have a wonderful cultural partnership with the Elmhurst Art Museum, with recent exhibits, and with the Elmhurst Public Library on their One Book, One Elmhurst program. We greatly appreciate the Park District and the City of Elmhurst for involving the university in their strategic planning efforts, and for the Downtown Economic Development and the Chamber also for their partnership. But just one example, and I do want to ask Senator Susie Glowick-Hilton if you would stand, as well as Jim. Would you stand? Jim Rogers from the Park District. Susie was instrumental in letting the Park District and the university benefit from a $200,000 grant to improve the baseball field. We each put in an extra $100,000, and so what we say is we're all getting $400,000 of improvement, needed improvement, for a fraction of that particular. And thank you, Susie, for your advocacy for this community. And speaking of baseball, we do have the vintage baseball game organized by the History Museum. And if you have not come, Dave Oberg, this is a sight to be observed. His performance that particular day, but he really gets into it. He will literally take you back 100 plus years to play a vintage baseball game, literally right out here on the mall. This year it's planned for June 23rd. And yes, we lost the last game. It was a fluke. But we were victorious in the previous 3 years. And now what we found out is that I'm going to be on a 30th anniversary trip with my wife, and I'm going to miss it on June 23rd of this year. And I guess Mayor's also got a conflict. And so, but I will tell you that I've already talked to our baseball and softball coaches and told them that their records are important during the regular season, but this playoff game is win or go home. But speaking of real athletic news, two of our track athletes yesterday, Nikala Nadeau and Tiana Grady, were qualifiers for the 2024 Indoor Track and Field National Championships, with Nikala setting a world record yesterday. And this afternoon, she is competing in the finals for the 60-meter hurdles. So keep your fingers crossed, and if you just do a little bit of Googling, you'll be able to stream her. It's about a 7-second race, so be dialed in. And for the fifth time under head coach John Baines, the Elmhurst men's basketball team earned a berth into the 2024 NCAA Division III basketball tournament and made us proud, as I know Ralph Pachanio very much recognizes, because he's at every game with his grandchildren usually. And just a couple things that make it exciting here on campus as we strive to make our mark as a regional leader in higher education. As you heard, we just completed our Elmhurst 150 fundraising campaign. We raised more than $55 million to create enhanced opportunities for Elmhurst students. Our board recently approved our Elmhurst 2028 strategic plan that's going to provide our priorities for the next 5 years, and we have been implementing some of those operational plans. So improving our athletic and recreation facilities even beyond what we're doing with the Park District. A new field, turf, and stadium track and field renovations are underway. We've renovated our gymnasium. And of course, this campaign also provided enhanced endowment support because our students need increased resources to be able to complete their educational journey, and those scholarships and that financial aid is increasingly important. And we even increased our support programs for our Hispanic serving students, and we have a new Hispanic serving center opened on campus to help both them and then other underrepresented and first generation college students. So let me talk just a little bit about the Health Sciences building, though. Soon after we did the groundbreaking in October, we began to demolish the west wing of what is known as Memorial Hall. And I want to reassure you that we really tried to preserve Memorial Hall. It was titled Memorial Hall, you know, and how could you not? But it really was not possible. It could not be renovated in a way that would give students the kind of access and collaborative space that their educational journey required in 2024 and beyond. It was built in 1922 in memory of World War I veterans. And rest assured, though, that we will preserve a number of architectural artifacts and other things in that building, including the exterior columns, the engraved limestone rosettes. The cornerstones have already been preserved of the part that's been deconstructed. Interior skylights, which are kind of cool if you've been in that particular building. I guess you can still go, but don't wait too long. And then the bronze plaques. And so the new building will be built inside the area you see out here that has kind of the blue fence around it. And once it is completed, we will then take down Memorial Hall and have green space there as well. We will relocate, those pieces around campus and in different areas. And this new building will house the Jans Military Veterans Center, which welcomes student veterans and also helps students that are actively pursuing careers in the military with a special focus on those in STEM fields. And Bob Jans is here with us. Thank you for your generosity and your family's generosity. We're so excited to see that new facility come to fruition. We're also going to be seeking what's known as LEED certification. That's the gold standard in green buildings or environmentally friendly building. LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. And so we're committed that this will be another LEED building on campus. And it's on schedule to complete construction literally just about a year from right now, and it'll welcome students in it soon thereafter. We also have undergone a new branding initiative. Last year we launched this initiative, and we're eager to build on the momentum of our name change from Elmhurst College to Elmhurst University, as well as our sesquicentennial celebrations. And so now we're implementing our brand, which aims to reaffirm who we are, how we talk about ourselves, and how we want to be perceived. Our value proposition declares what we offer and the benefit we provide to our students. And so here it is. Elmhurst University, welcoming and supportive community, offers a meaningful education and connected learning to spark limitless knowledge and skills that radiate success. That theme was conveyed recently in a TV commercial created for a campaign by the Office of Admissions. It debuted during the NFL wildcard playoff games in January. And since I know the Bears didn't make the playoffs this year, I'm going to show it for you here because some of you may have missed it.
Just west of Chicago, in a community called Elmhurst, there's a place where you'll grow into a connected thinker and a passionate changemaker, with skills to excel and knowledge that lasts. Elmhurst University. Go far, do well.
So, yeah. So this branding initiative is just one of the ways we're trying to distinguish ourselves in a highly competitive higher education marketplace. We're also continuing to enjoy third-party recognition as we do well. In U.S. News & World Report's latest Best Colleges rankings, we were rated number 6 among the best regional universities in the Midwest and number 1 amongst Illinois schools in that category. We're number 7 as a best value school, as well as a top performer in social mobility, which is very important for the students that we serve. The rankings validate our commitment to providing our students with an excellent educational value and preparing them for a world that desperately needs their leadership skills. And although the higher education landscape nationally continues to change, we experienced another year of strong enrollment. Last fall, we had 1,407 new students starting the academic year, including our 3rd largest class of first-year students in our history and a record number of new graduate students. We also welcomed our first doctoral students in the Doctor of Nursing Practitioner program. And as I said earlier, our enrollment is at an all-time high of 3,906 this past fall. And that currently includes 319 international undergraduate and graduate students from 40 countries, from Argentina all the way to Vietnam. And so I want you to look at this postcard that we left in front of each of your tables, and it shows you just the global reach that this campus has and the impact we're having on society, whether it be from the students that we're bringing here or our students that are studying away or others that are doing good things out in society. And by enrolling international students is just one way that we impact the world globally. Our work is part of the university's mission, which is to inspire intellectual and personal growth in our students and prepare them to contribute meaningfully to a diverse and interconnected society. One of the most powerful ways we honor that commitment is by helping students engage directly with that global society, by introducing more international students to an Elmhurst education and sending more of our students and alumni into the world to study, work, and contribute to the greater good. And we're expanding partnerships with schools around the world. Recently, on a trip to India, I signed a memorandum of understanding with an engineering college there and opened a joint business incubator. 2 of our faculty are even working on a dual master's degree program in artificial intelligence and analytics with this school in the southern part of India. Besides India, Elmhurst is also working with recruiters in Nepal, Vietnam, Saudi Arabia, Colombia, France, Greece, and South Korea. And if you see my little Blue Jay buggy moving a little quick as we kind of exit the parade, it's because I got my race car driver, Annette's got to get me to the airport by 3 o'clock this afternoon because I've got a flight to Brazil to continue to have some conversations about some partnerships there. And it's not just recruiting international students here. Our current students are studying and working abroad or studying global issues with plans to work internationally. We've had a long, successful history of studying abroad opportunities, and we've been trying to raise participation rates, understanding that these experiences are high impact and often transformational for students. We've been fortunate to secure close to $1 million from an anonymous community member, Elmhurst community member, to help support students who otherwise wouldn't be able to participate in these opportunities because airfare is increasing, as we all know, and some of those types of things. And it's just great to see everybody be able to have a chance to participate in these opportunities. Over the years, our Fulbright Scholar students have taught and served as cultural ambassadors all over the world. We've also had a number of academic courses and student clubs that have had a lot of success here. We actually have several cultural student clubs around the campus now. And the university also has a long and distinguished history of offering intercultural and religious lectures to the campus community, including an annual lecture exploring the Jewish, Muslim, and Christian faiths. And I'm also proud of a number of our alumni making impact abroad. We have an alum from the class of 2022, Sienna Gard, who is serving in the Peace Corps in Albania. He's one of a number of alumni who's working as educators and missionaries. Estrella Vargas from the class of 2018 is working as a foreign services officer at the State Department in Hong Kong. We also have a significant number of alumni that are working abroad as entrepreneurs or business leaders. Alexandra Spekka from 2011 is a project manager for a company based in Romania that helps startups around the world. Barbara Kasenke is heading a business advisor group in Uganda for a development bank. Bayon Radoslavek is from the class of 2004, is the partner and creative strategist for the Loud and Louder agency, which handles marketing and internal corporate communications across all of Europe for clients like Coca-Cola. And Patrick Seward from the class of 1982 advises on investments and consumers and retail business and Asia buyouts, as well as for the Carlyle Global Investment Firm in Hong Kong. And so our growing global impact illustrates how Elmhurst is providing our students with excellent academic success and experience that leads to the kind of success that has a ripple effect. So in closing, throughout our history, our successes here in Elmhurst and beyond have been linked to your support of our students and our environment. The welcoming nature of this community and the many connections between the community and campus have helped us each reach new audience while also providing a caring environment and invaluable opportunities for all of our students, giving them confidence to excel as inclusive leaders in their careers and whatever they do next. Before I hand it back to Desiree, I'd like to share this video about a group of students who are here from Vietnam and what their experience has been like so far. One of them's over here working for our Chartwells group, and so you can maybe talk to her a little bit afterwards. Thank you for joining us this morning, and see you at the parade.
Hi, my name is Mary.
My name is Duc Phan.
My name is Han Lee. My name is Lam.
My name is Minh. Some people on campus know me as Mike. I feel safe and supported since the moment I arrived at Elmhurst University.
When we first entered the school, they will offer the courses for security, safety tips, and also the status for international students.
When I first arrived here, so I have the orientation. I was having a jet lag at that point, and I couldn't join every activity. The leader of my OSL leader, and she would just keep on texting me, asking me if I'm okay, and I feel so welcome and loved.
Classes are challenging, of course. That's what makes you better. But they give us supportive.
If I cannot understand some concept, they are willing to support and explain it again.
There's one time when I don't understand one word. I asked my teacher, and he kept on explaining it to me again and again. I feel so happy that he's so patient to me.
Living near Chicagoland and 30 minutes ride on the metro is a great experience for me.
The first time I have been in Chicago, I have to say, wow, a lot of time.
The glamour of big cities in the US always have been my curiosity, so the fact that I got the chance to go to Chicago that easily satisfied my curiosity, I believe so.
So also one thing that I love about being here is that the hot dogs is so good.
And also Elmhurst is a crowded city, and there's many restaurants and shopping malls, so it's really convenient.
Clubs and others groups in Elmhurst University is really, really diverse.
Right now, I'm the Instagram director of 2 clubs. These clubs give me the chance to step out of my comfort zone and do the thing that I like.
I'm a Christian, so I joined the group and I was able to find a lot of new friends. I'm free to share my faith, and I love it.
This is the chance for me to actually step from a student to a professional.
The clubs has offer relationships, opportunities that I will treasure maybe for the rest of my journey.
The Vietnamese community here, they love each other.
Thank you very much. So before we let you go, I'd like to mention some upcoming university and community events that I hope you'll join us for. In a few hours, of course, the St. Patrick's Day Parade steps off at noon. On Tuesday, April 16th, we'll host the Rudolph G. Schotty Lecture on History, Ethics, and Law. This year's speaker is historian and author Douglas Brinkley, and his topic is The Business Innovators, Henry Ford to Jeff Bezos. On Saturday, April 27th, we invite you to join us for our very first Blue Jay 5K, a race to benefit Honor Flight Chicago. On Saturday, June 8th, the Elmhurst Cycling Classic returns. And as you know, the race route encircles our campus, and this year's event promises to be better than ever. Our annual June Jazz Concert is Saturday evening, June 15th, Father's Day weekend. And on Sunday, June 23rd, the next Town versus Gown baseball game. The city and the university will be held, between the university and the city will be held right here on the mall. This year, there'll be a visit from members of the All-American Girls Vintage Baseball League, a tie-in to the Elmhurst History Museum's World War II exhibit. There will also be a pop-up display on Elmhurst University alumna Audrey Wagner, who played for the Kenosha Comets during World War II. Thank you, and on your way out this morning, I hope you'll stop by our information table and help yourself to some of the materials and publications that describe all the exciting things going on at Elmhurst University. And also grab a cup of coffee on your way out. We've got some to-go cups for you. Finally, I'd like to give special thanks to the teams that did such a great job of putting this event together today, including the President's Office, the Offices of Special Events, Information Services, and Marketing and Communications, and our dining services partner, Chartwells. Thanks for coming, everyone. Have a great day.